All right, let's talk about something that's probably all over your phone, even if you don't realize it: gamification. Today, we're going to break down what it is, why our brains love it so much, and maybe most importantly, where it can all go wrong. Let's dive in. So, have you ever thought about this? I mean, really thought about it? You can lose an entire afternoon to some simple little puzzle game on your phone, right? But trying to convince yourself to open that language app for just 10 minutes? Yeah, that can feel like climbing a mountain. What is going on there? Well, the answer, in one word, is gamification. It is the secret ingredient, the magic touch that can make boring tasks feel, well, not so boring. It's everywhere. So, what exactly is this thing? It's not just about slapping a score onto something and calling it a day. No, it's way deeper than that. It's about tapping into the very psychology of play, understanding what drives us, what motivates us, and applying those lessons to things that aren't games at all. Okay, so here's the more formal definition. It's all about borrowing those core ideas that make games so addictive. Things like getting points, unlocking badges, climbing up leaderboards, and using them in non-game situations. Think education, fitness, even work. The whole point is to get you motivated and keep you coming back. And I love this quote because it gets at a really important point about what gamification is not. It's not about turning your entire life into a video game. You're not going to have to fight a dragon to pay your credit card bill. It's about using these little game-like nudges in subtle ways to make real-world stuff just a little more satisfying. To really get why this is so powerful, we need to pop the hood and look at the actual science of what makes us tick. Turns out there are two big types of motivation that gamification plays with. Think of it like this. You've got two sides of the coin. On one side, there's extrinsic motivation. This is all about the external rewards, the points, the badges, the discounts. It's great for getting you in the door, for that initial hook. But on the other side, you have intrinsic motivation. This is the good stuff. It's that deep internal satisfaction you get from mastering a skill, from feeling a sense of purpose. The absolute best gamification uses the first kind to build the second. So, how do designers actually do this? Let's open up the toolkit and look at the most common mechanics they use to get us going. First up, the big one: points. You can think of points as the basic money of gamification. Every time you do what the app wants you to do, you get some. It's simple, it's instant feedback, and it shows you you're making progress. Duolingo is the classic example, right? You finish a lesson, you get XP, experience points. It's a clear little signal that says, hey, you did a thing. Then you've got badges. These are your digital trophies. You hit a certain goal, you reach a milestone, and bam, you get a shiny new badge. They're little status symbols. They give you something to collect, and they set these nice, clear, long-term goals to aim for. Khan Academy is fantastic at this, with its Master and Explorer badges. And of course, leaderboards. These tap directly into our competitive nature. Seeing your name climb up a list, especially a list of your friends, can be a huge motivator. Think of the Nike Run Club app showing who ran the farthest this week. But, and this is a really big but, they can be super demotivating if you're stuck at the bottom. For every winner, there are a lot of losers. That's why good design often uses things like you're in the top 20% to soften the blow. Now, this next one is so simple, but it's pure psychological genius: the progress bar. It taps into something called the Zeigarnik effect, which is just a fancy way of saying our brains hate leaving things unfinished. When LinkedIn shows your profile is only 80% complete, it creates this little open loop in your mind, this itch that you just have to scratch. It's brilliant. But it's not all sunshine and XP points. When this is done badly, it can backfire. Big time. So let's talk about the dark side and some of the most common traps people fall into. And this really gets to the core of the problem. Is gamification some kind of magic wand? Can you just sprinkle it on a product that's, frankly, kind of boring or doesn't work well and make it great? The answer is a hard no. And that's trap number one: thinking that just slapping on points, badges, and leaderboards, or PBL as they're called, is enough. If your app or service doesn't provide real value to begin with, all the badges in the world won't fix it. It's like putting a racing stripe on a broken-down car. Trap number two is getting hooked only on those external, extrinsic rewards. Look, if the only reason I'm using your app is to get points or a discount, what do you think is going to happen the second those rewards go away? That's right, I'm gone. It's called the over-justification effect, and it's what happens when you never build that deeper intrinsic motivation. And finally, this is a really dangerous one. You might actually be encouraging the exact wrong kind of behavior. Imagine a Q&A website. The goal should be to get thoughtful, high-quality answers. But if you're just reward people with points for the number of answers they post, you're going to get a flood of junk, one-word replies from people just trying to game the system. You've incentivized the wrong thing.
So, if the goal isn't just to throw points at people, what is it? Well, the real goal, the true art of this, is to create experiences that actually feel meaningful.
Here's the key takeaway. Great gamification isn't about the mechanics themselves. It's about the universal human desires that those mechanics tap into. It's not about the progress bar. It's about that incredible feeling of making progress. It's not about the badge. It's about the journey of mastery it represents. It's about feeling a sense of social connection, of belonging, of working toward a bigger purpose. And that leaves us with one final, very important question to ask ourselves, whether you're building a product or just using one. Take a step back and think. Is this just about collecting points, or is it actually helping me or its users serve a real, meaningful purpose? Answering that question is the difference between a cheap trick and a truly motivating experience.